Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to our weekly macro update with Tim. Thank you for joining, guys. Welcome, Tim. Happy to have you here.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from where are you from?
All right, I think we can kick it off and just go over some macro updates. And then this week is going to be, of course, a short week with the 4th of July coming. And then next week, crypto gamma models. So stay tuned. We're going to have a lot of live events next week from Tuesday. Very excited about that. But for now, Tim, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah. Actually, we have a live together next week, right? With the crypto stuff coming up, I guess. Okay. Right.
Yes.
Tuesday, Sure. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's run through the stuff I have prepared for this week. As Fabio mentioned already, it's a short week, of course, 4th of July on Friday. I'm really happy you guys are getting an extra holiday on Monday as well for the next week. So market is closed over there too. Keep this in mind. Nevertheless, few things I prepared and we have to a little bit talk about. Last Monday, we also skipped the macro update a little bit because few of us have been traveling around. So I packed it together and let's start with SPX as usual in the first slide from the last week. Data-wise, it was pretty light. There was nothing big to discuss. Markets drifting higher, as you can see already. What was a little bit notable was the Sunday Globex Open in ES futures. And if you are running the SPX like I did it here, it does the conversion into the SPX prices already. So don't wonder, this SPX chart here runs 24 hours a day. It's just a different ticker. Just want to highlight the dump on the Sunday Open, where we opened a little bit lower, but from then we had relentless buying over the week. With the key strike called like that 6,000 in SPX, it was don't look back to that price, call it like that. We drifted higher Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with a little bit of data due to the goods orders in the US. Pretty solid. Friday was a little bit of event risk with the core PCE price index, but as you can see, the stock market is not caring at all about this stuff. Data wasn't that bad, to be honest. It was okay. This week is way more important for us, and we had a little bit of selling midday on Friday. I think it was also a little bit due to Donald Trump comments with tariffs and regarding something to Canada, I guess. There was also a little bit selling in the Canadian dollar versus the US dollar, but like an hour later, everything was bought again. We can call it like end of quarter, end of month, end of half year flows, because today is basically the last trading day of those 3 time frames. And as of now, we are trading around 62 even, kind of, in SPX. But let's dive into the week. Today, nothing is on the deck, especially data-wise, at least nothing worth to mention from my side. Because it's a short week, we will already start on Tuesday with the first job data stuff in form of the job openings. Also, we have the ISM manufacturing PMI coming up, and that's basically the most important stuff for Tuesday. Don't wonder if you are looking at those calendars as well. On the Tuesday, 9:30 a.m., Jay Powell held a speech, but this is because the ECB in Europe, the central bank, has a meeting where all the central bankers from the world are gathering and throwing stuff at us verbally. But just to make sure, around this time, if you are seeing let's say, spooky price action. Everything can happen. Just be aware. 9:30 Tuesday, Powell is held a speech. Then Wednesday, also nothing big to mention. And Thursday should be the most important day for next week. July 4th, with the non-farm payrolls this day on a Thursday, because Friday is closed already. And yeah, the market is expecting around 110, 100-ish. Some surveys are saying 105 to 150-ish. The last week and last month NFP was 139,000 new jobs have been created. So the important message here behind is we basically need this growth, right, for the market to drift up higher, and ignore weakening signs wherever they come from. And basically you can say like that, if we are dropping below 100,000, it should be led into a little bit of selling in risk assets like tech, or let's keep it like that, the SPX in general. But overall, if we look a little bit into it's actually baked in IV. We'll do this later. No one cares really that much about it. We are really confident here in these levels in the indices. So Thursday should be really interesting because we have also later on the day on Thursday, 10 a.m. EST, the ISM service PMI. And of course, people will also looking over there how we are doing in the service sector. And what was pretty watched the last times this survey came out was the prices paid component, which basically says whatever service act you are demanding from whatever you are, what you have to pay for this, right? And those are on the rise, like 3-4 last months. So in the back of your head, the inflation bell should ring a little bit. Market isn't focused on that from my perspective, what I can say, but should be interesting. And Friday I mentioned already, holiday. The most crowded trade today, well, not today, last month, short dollar. That's the reason why I put this little chart over here. Didn't find a place where I can put it elsewhere, just put it here. And actually a trade from me last week, 5-day swing with the MenthorQ 5-day swing model within the SPX. The left slide is from the 20th and the right side is from the 27th of June. I basically look at those stuff like 2 times a week, set a few alerts in SPX, and the model gave us a low, and the low on Monday with the Globex Open was 59.08, and the cash session low from 9:30 was 59.42, and I just decided then during the real trading hours on Monday, buy a few upside calls, 61.00 weeklies, paid off nicely. Size wasn't that big, was 2 calls, something like that. Just want to highlight here that we have this stuff in store and you can always use it, and worked out pretty nicely. So this is basically one of the main stuff I did last week. The other stuff we will talk about later in the presentation. And how it looks today in SPX, if you are watching your charts or watch list in this morning, we have interesting volatility up, spot up correlation already again. This can be happened because normally everyone would say, well, if volatility goes up in terms of VIX, that's usually not telling us the spot, so the SPX is going up. But it can do actually, right? This is due to options positioning, mainly tilted to the upside, short gamma. If spot goes over there, the market making has to hedge a little bit always. This affects volatility as well. So don't get confused if you are seeing this stuff in the morning or due to the week. In VIX, it's actually pretty interesting. We haven't seen that much new lows, right? Despite we made new all-time highs in SPX already. That's kind of interesting. Just wondering for me, what will happen if volatility crushes even more further in VIX, like 14, sub 14 handles, something like that. Will this fuel another big up move in SPX? So that's something you should definitely watch and have it in your mind. Today also is the infamous JPM collar restriking in the SPX. So this is the left upside chart I have here with the 3 levels from the previous collar. This big hedge gets restriked later in the day. It can happen that if you are ES trader or if you have SPX options on, that later in the day you will see a little bit of movement, because the new strikes are rolling in, and the market making has to digest the stuff a little bit. So just a small head up for today, we have the JPM collar restrike. All right. What else? Yes, ATM term structure, SPX options, and volatility risk premium on the right side. As you can see, we have already bled out a lot of implied volatility. Like in the last few weeks, we had several stories in the market going on, right? Tariff talks. We had a FOMC meeting. Of course, we had CPI data like 2 weeks ago. And also the situation Iran-Israel, right? Like a month ago, I have told you about this specific topic already, the most important parts about it, but it was a little bit, of worrying in the market. Let's keep it like that. But as you can see, we lost a lot of this implied volatility on the right chart, the big one with my nice drawings in there. We dropped massively, like from the 1 month ago IV and the 5-day ago IV. Nevertheless, we have still positive volatility risk premium. This is always a measurement. I'm looking into it. If I wanna start to preparing a trade in terms of volatility, as of now, doesn't look rewarding to me. Volatility risk premium is still positive, has to go negative in my view, that I start beginning thinking about a trade in some volatility longs. All right. Brings us to the next topic with new all-time highs in the Qs and the SPX. Well, the IWM is lacking, right? So the last week or the last day, there was outperforming of quality tech stocks. You all know them, Mac 7, mostly outperforming small caps, outperforming the RSP, which is the orange line. What is the RSP? The RSP, for the new listeners, is the equal weighted SPX index. So all stocks are equally weighted, and we don't see new all-time highs over there. It always indicates a little bit that some sectors I have mentioned a little bit earlier are doing better in performance, right? This is nothing bad in particularly. It's just a trend worth to observing, because usually sometimes, or let's say sometimes, it was the case the last months or the last quarters that small caps in IWM are catching up later a little bit. So that's the reason why I built this little chart over here. I don't know if you can see the green line. Actually, this is the ARK ETF. I always watch ARK ETF, how the performance is over there, because we all know it's high risk gamble stuff. Let's say it like this. If this is performing pretty well or outperforms other sectors, it's, for me at least, kind of a sign that we are risk takers in stocks, that we don't care about valuations or all that stuff. We just want to make money out of high beta stocks, and this is the reason why the ARK ETF is in there as well. the performance is not that really good. So again, that's a sign for market participants are more enjoying quality tech stocks over the time. Nevertheless, if you are planning longs right now in SPX, QQQ, you actually are trading those tops, right? That's not really easy, at least from my side, especially with the stuff that's coming on over the week with NFP and all this stuff. So IWM today pre-market, we are already trading around 217 in the IWM, 218 quarter, 1 day max for today. That's also February 24 highs. I will definitely look into, set a few alerts, but I want to see how we react to the data stuff this week. Of course, you can always front run stuff, right? If you keep it technical, that's the reason we have the GEX charts on the right side for today and for Tuesday below, mapping out important strikes like 215, 214, on the upside 218, 220. This already gives you out some ideas where you can maybe set alerts and buy calls, sell puts, whatever your strategy is over there. The skew for the 25 deltas on the left side looks pretty cheapish down there, right? And it's actually way more cheaper than in May. And in May, the IWM was like the same price area with 215, 218, something like this. Nevertheless, if the week goes well and we don't have some pretty bad surprises out of data, because if we have, like mentioned it before, NFP sub 100k, IWM will suffer, right? Should be on the sell side and should have a negative performance over the week. So this is a little bit of the risk that you are taking. But nevertheless, if you want to front run this stuff, at least use some data where important inflection points in terms of price and in terms of positioning can be, that you are not buying something blindly without preparation that's needed for it. And already the last slide for today, this is from last week. Actually, what we are seeing here is nearly $14 range in CL, in crude oil futures. This was my main trade for last month. Actually, last month's performing wasn't that good. So now a little bit of trading psychology stuff from my side. I decided then in the last month to keep it small, just focus on stuff that I'm really good at and understanding. And I didn't have that much trades on, but then the whole Iran-Israel story had popped off, right? Like 2 weeks ago. I'm sure everyone is now familiar with the stuff because it was in social media, it was on television and whatever else. So I decided to, write and do a little bit of extensive research about it. That's the reason why I put this little screenshot out of our Discord server over here. And long story short, with CL trading around 78, 70, 77 does not make sense at all, right? The market was pricing in here the worst outcome of the conflict that we have all witnessed, which was, long story short, the closure of water straits, mainly here the Strait of Hormuz. That's the reason why we have these little pictures in the little screenshot over there. And I just decided to watch this conflict. And as soon as Globex opened, which is Sunday night here in Europe, I was always at my screen with the stuff I have there observed the last days, and I always decided to put a trade on. So yeah, and with the gap up from the 22nd of June last week, I was short, and held this short down to $67 in crude oil, and at the end of the month turned green. So sometimes you just have to sit and wait a little bit, I guess. But yeah, one good trade can make your whole month a little bit better than you usually expected your month will end. So that's from my side today. Short week, short presentation, 21 minutes. That's a new record, I guess. I don't
Thank
know.
you, Tim.
Something new or special? I don't think so.
Yeah, let's see if there's any question, guys. But if not, thank you, Tim, for this. And to next week, we're gonna be back on Tuesday after the bank holiday. We're gonna talk about crypto. So we're gonna start the week with a macro update on looking at how crypto play at the macro level, and then we're gonna have a lot of different sessions throughout the week on trading crypto, on options on crypto. So there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff coming next week. So stay tuned, guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you, Tim, for the time, and see you guys soon. Good luck for this week.
All right. Thanks and happy week.